All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the CHB podcast. Today I'm joined
It
with
gets me every time.
today I'm joined with
This
Justin
is being
Bieber.
recorded.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, Justin Bieber,
What's
fellow
going on,
Justin
Bieber?
Bieber.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
not a
got a
whole
bit of the
lot.
swoop going on. It's not the whole entire bread. It like the bread head that you've got right now has intensified.
Oh, yeah, it's getting out of control. No doubt
Yeah,
about it.
it's gotten a lot crazier in the 3 week span or something like that. Like I got like three people that listen to this podcast on Spotify. It's not crazy numbers. I'm not gonna cap, but there's gonna be that one guy that's just like, I wonder what this bloke looks like. Does he look
What is his hair
does he
situation?
look
How
like
bad
Justin Bieber?
actually is it?
We're gonna do a poll. How much does Will need a haircut? Because this shit's getting ridiculous at this point. But of course, we're going to be starting off with NBA. But what I wanted to do more of this time was talk about some AFL stuff because holy
Mm.
crap. Other than I think everyone being a big baby about the umpires this year, this has probably been one
Yeah.
of the most cracked seasons of footy you will ever see. So there's definitely a
Mm.
lot to talk about there. But we'll start with NBA first. And a report that was coming out by Hoop Hype, and I think even Shams touched on this. You probably saw it as well. The three-team trade with the Knicks, Utah, and the Lakers looks like it is edging on a deal that could get done very, very shortly. And something that's kind of changed up real quick is, a lot of people were saying, oh, Westbrook's going to go here, Westbrook's going to go. I literally just said Westbrook by accident. That was
Westbrook.
not even on purpose. Westbrook is going to go here, whatever, right? Apparently he's
Careful, he'll
going.
yell at you on Twitter.
Exactly. Apparently he's getting traded, it looks like, to the Utah Jazz, where the Lakers will have to give up an extra first, right? But they'll be bringing back in Patrick Beverly, rumored to be Bojan Bogdanovic,
Oh, I
and
saw this trade actually.
yeah, and potentially something else. And then the Knicks would get Donovan Mitchell, and the Jazz would get like another six or so first round picks from them, like Evan Fournier, this and that, right? Do you think that trade happens? Does that trade get done? Because we've seen so many Donovan Mitchell trades, and that one seems to be the one that just, with a couple of different things that happen here and there, I'm sure. But that one seems to be the one that, like, legit gets done, in my opinion.
What team do they have Donovan going to? What was the last team?
Knicks. He goes to the Knicks.
Oh, the Knicks, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I don't know if the Lakers want to get rid of Ross. They've been apparently reluctant to get rid of a first round pick in a trade, but if you're getting valuable contributors back, I think you'd pull the trigger on that one. And then obviously the Jazz are just trying to do the old OKC and get as many picks as they possibly can. So if the Knicks are willing to fork out their entire future like the Clippers did, then why not?
If you were the Lakers, though, so I mean, you're trading away Westbrook, who's on 80 million at this point. The guy is on
Yeah,
ridiculous money. I think it's actually 47 million. But let's just say you bring in Boyan, right, who's on 18 million, and you bring in Patrick Beverly, who's on 11 million. That's 29 million, right? There is still players you can bring in to try and match that out. If you're the Lakers, do you say, because I think they've got a second or two as well, do you just say, all right, we'll
yeah.
throw in a second where we've heard you want to get rid of Rudy Gay. We'll take that man off your hands. Do you say that as well if you're the Lakers, or do you hold on to the extra whatever $14 million in cap relief that this somehow fills out?
But I wouldn't really be trying to go for Rudy Gay at this point in his career. He's a bit of a defensive liability. So
So would
yeah,
you offer an
their
extra first
their
to get like a
problem is
Jordan Clarkson
defense.
then? Yeah, true.
Uh, I'm not sure. Defense is the Lakers' issue, and then Clarkson's really not going to remedy anything on that side of the ball, and neither is Gay. I think they'd
Mm.
be better off just using their cap space trying to get somebody else.
Yeah, because I'm thinking they're probably going to be over. They would be over the luxury, right? Even if this trade still goes through. So would they be
Yeah,
able to?
probably.
Would they even be able to like sign a player? Like, how does that even work? That's what I'm trying to figure out because basically your whole team your owners would save probably $14 million out of this. Your team wouldn't be really saving anything. And I don't know if you're Jeannie Busto, if I was her, and if there was a player there that could not only help the defensive end but the 3-point shooting, I would try it out. I think Patrick Beverley is perfect for the Lakers, though. He will come in, and I think if anyone's going to wake LeBron up on the defensive end, it's Patrick Beverley, right? He will
Yeah.
kick that guy's ass. Like, I mean, look at LeBron this year. He would have dropped 40 points per game, but he'd just stand there like a cone on defense. And then you've still
He
got,
had to do absolutely everything on offense.
yeah, he'd just be too tired. You still got Boyan as well. Probably doesn't help out with defense, but that 3-point shooting would be a really
Yeah,
good
it'd be
one.
so much better than what they've got.
Yeah. But I'm not sure what would be, because I still feel like if I was the Lakers, I mean, even offering a second for Rudy Gay, I still feel like wouldn't be that bad of a thing. Because I know it's the defense that they've got issues with, but I still feel like Rudy Gay would be better defensively than half of that Lakers roster.
Oh, I'm not sure. How much is Rudy Gay on at the moment? Isn't
I
he
would
on like
imagine it'd be
12
like
mil or something?
4.5. No, I think he signed a 2-year deal that was worth like 9 million all up or something like that. I don't think it was that expensive.
Oh, maybe that was his previous contract. But
Yeah.
yeah, if he's on a cheap deal, then I guess it couldn't hurt. He's also like 35 years old, so look, it wouldn't hurt them. But there's certain players that you get and you just have to accept that they're not going to do anything defensively, and the Lakers have a few too many of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Who do you think wins out of all of these teams, though? Do the Knicks win it because they bring in Donovan Mitchell, or do the Jazz just win because they capitalize on 800 first-round picks?
Well, I'm an OKC fan, so I'm biased. So I'd say that Utah would win that trade in the long haul because they have a weird obsession with first-round picks, just like our general manager.
Yep, that's fair enough.
But I can see why the Knicks would do it, just to get back into some sort of relevance, start building a winning culture, because they desperately need that, and they desperately need some shot creation and some real, actual scorers, other than bold ass Evan Fournier that only plays well against the Celtics.
Yep. Definitely not wrong there.
It's a good move for them as well, even if they overpay.
Yep. The Lakers could also look at Evan Fournier, I feel like, as well. He would be another one that the Lakers could definitely capitalize on, even though he doesn't have much defense. But Jesus Christ,
not a whole lot of defense.
I mean, your defensive anchor on the Lakers is Stanley Johnson anyway, so it doesn't matter who your defensive anchor is at the end of the day. But with all of this happening, so they're saying that if Westbrook does get to the Utah Jazz, though, he gets bought out, is what they are saying. Who should sign Russell Westbrook? Because I feel like this Russell Westbrook disrespect has gotten out of hand. There was one reporter, and I know damn well you've seen this because you are on Westbrook's penis like a STD. We know this, right? There was one reporter that said, if Westbrook gets bought out, he will not only struggle to start in the league, but he might struggle to get to an NBA team for a bit. And in part of that, I think could be true, but I also feel like there could be that team that just straight up signs him like that. One team being the Washington Wizards. I mean, come on now. I could start at point guard for the Washington Wizards. I'm pretty sure their starting point guard is Bradley Beal next season, I think. Could be DeLon Wright. He did sign there, which no one knows about, but he did. $8 million a season.
DeLon Wright's pretty solid, though.
Yeah, but I'm better.
Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good backup.
So do you think the Wizards should go out and get Westbrook? Because if you ask me, if they got Westbrook right, they are better this time. They are much better now than what they were with Westbrook back then, right? And if they were to add Westbrook to this team, not only would this team be much, much better last time than the last time that Westbrook was on it. I mean, they're really a point guard away and some defense from potentially being a playoff team. I just feel like that point guard hole on Washington is just so big, and the defensive hole is so big as well. I mean, Bradley Beal might be their best defender in that starting lineup. They've got Avdia at the 3, Kuzma at the 4, and Kristaps at the 5, who honestly was like a training cone last season as well on defense. So, yeah, it's their defense is a bit of an issue, but do you think Westbrook should go there, or do you have a couple other teams you'd like to see him go to?
Oh, as far as starting, that's probably an ideal situation. I can't think of many other teams that would need a point guard. But as far as like coming off the bench goes, you cannot feasibly tell me that Russell Westbrook is not going to be useful as a 6th man off the bench. I understand he's not an MVP anymore, but Jesus, man, like there's no way he's going to be out of the league, and if he does, then it's going to be like the Carmelo Anthony situation, but on crack. It's going to be so much worse. He definitely deserves to be in the NBA.
Yeah. So you think are the Wizards the only team where he'd start on?
Oh, I can't think of any off the top of my head that would start him, but I'm sure there's a couple. Like I think he's still borderline all-star level. It's just whether you want the turnovers and the ball dominance and the inefficiency, whether you think that still is weighed out by his positives in order to get him to start, because you do have to sacrifice when he's on your team. You do have to bend around him. You have to have certain personnel, all that, and it may not be worth it to have him on your team as a starting point guard anymore, but running your bench unit, there's no way you can go wrong.
All right, so I'm going to say something. This is for the people at home, right? All right, you ready? William? Your haircut is pissing me off. Seriously pissing me off. I'm looking down at you like this, and I'm speaking to a head full of hair. Do you have a hat
like
or a beanie or something? I see those Collingwood clappers in the background. Go tie your hair up, put them in it or something. Chuck a hat on, because right now I'm talking about a haircut and I don't like it. I can't take you seriously.
The worst thing is I've had to start playing basketball with a headband up the top of my head like I'm Tom Fawns pushing my hairline back.
Do this. Grab your beanie and pull your hair back and just put it on. For everyone's sake at home. You got a
fedora.
You got a fedora. There we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of freaking Indiana Jones, bro. That's a whole lot better. We'll take that. I think that's a good one. If you were Westbrook, though, so let's just say the Wizards say to themselves. Let's just say the Wizards say to themselves, we'd rather start Jordan Beecroft, aka centre half bench, or point guard next season. Who should sign Russell Westbrook? What would be the number one team you'd like to see him go to? Because there's probably not going to be many teams that would start him.
Doesn't really matter what team he goes to. If centre half bench is running the point for the Wizards, dropping dimes every game, they're just going to win the title.
Warming the bench and eating the snacks after the game. All the players go and they're like, you know, when they get the burgers after the game sometimes.
Yeah.
They're like, where did all the burgers go and shit, bro? I need carbs. I'm just eating them all.
This man's taking them all.
But yeah, who even knows? I literally can't think of a team that, like, you know who need a starting point guard? The Lakers. The Lakers need a starting point guard, bro. There you go. But with Draymond Green, though, this is another one that's been going around. He didn't get offered a max. They didn't offer to extend him on the max contract.
What a surprise.
Am I the only one that's, like, weirded out by that?
No. Yeah, I appreciate Draymond. First got into the NBA and I was like, oh, how shit's this guy? But I have realized over time how valuable he is, but you cannot sign a guy that's averaging 7 points a game to a max contract. You just can't do it.
I don't know. He does more than 7
Especially when
points,
you have to re-sign Poole and Wiggins.
He averages 8.5 assists per game. His defense is insane. Like, did he not finish top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year this year? His defense is not only cracked. He's also didn't he make the All-Star team as well?
Yeah, I think he might have.
Yeah. So you're gonna tell me that an All-Star isn't worth a max contract?
I think he could be worth a max to somebody else, but I don't think he's like if I had to choose between keeping Draymond over Wiggins or Poole, I'd pick Draymond, but not over both of them. And Wiggins especially is really valuable. I think he was really good, especially while Draymond was struggling. He was really good defensively and providing a second scoring option. So
that's facts. But in saying that, though, they did let Jesus Christ, why have I forgotten his name? Gary Payton. They let Gary Payton go because if they extended all these guys to, like, let's just say they did the $9 million for Gary Payton, they did the $6 million or so for Otto Porter Jr., right? Could have been like $7 million. and a couple of the other players that did their contracts, this and that, right? They're looking at like $16 million to $20 million right there. And that's straight up. Like now that they've let all those players go, they've let their young core come back in and all that type of stuff. I feel like that should give them at least some flexibility to somewhat be able to still re-sign Jordan Poole to the big contract that they want him to, and also keep Andrew Wiggins. Because the fact of the matter is Andrew Wiggins is worth a max, right? He's worth a max. And people think, oh, a max contract, that's just the same as what he's on right now. The max contract has heavily changed. Like, yeah, the max contract is not 30 million a year anymore. I'm pretty sure it's 36 or 37. Like, it drastically went up.
Pay when he was on 18 mil, and now it looks like a steal.
Yep. And now he'll go on to that. He'll go on to that big $35 million probably per year contract. Jordan Poole will probably go on like a 28 million or so, which I still think is quite outrageous. I don't know if Jordan Poole is still worth that. It is what it is. But then
I'm not a Jordan Poole fan.
Neither am I. Nah. But Draymond Green is still a way better player than what Jordan Poole is. Way better player. And I'm still, if Jordan Poole's getting 25 to 28 million, whatever those rumors were, screw that, bro. Just give Draymond 30 million a year. That's what I think. Like, if it's going to be one of those maxes where it's 37 million a year, then maybe it's, but if we're talking about the old-timey max where it's like 31 million a year, that Kevin Love contract, remember from a couple years back, then I'm doing that if I'm the Warriors. I think that's legit. Like, I just feel like you can't let him leave. And the Warriors were they were a 10 times better team when Draymond was playing. And when Draymond was injured, those 10 or so games, whatever it was, they struggled at times. And I'm saying you can't let him leave. And the team who I think he will go to if he was to leave Golden State would be the Portland Trail Blazers. I've been saying this for a while.
Yeah, because Dame wants him.
Dame has been hinting at this for the end of time. And, I mean, it makes a whole lot of sense. He would be, imagine Dame and Draymond together. Like, if Draymond does exactly what he's done with Steph over the years, you know, setting all those screens, being the main ball handler, while Dame kind of plays like the 2-on offense, then Jesus Christ, that Portland team would be pretty insane. Like, you got, you know, Draymond playmaking to Nurkic, Damian Lillard, Simons, you know, all those type of players. I just think that would be a really, really good thing to see. And Jeremy Grant. No, not enough people remember Jeremy Grant is on that team right now.
Jeremy Grant.
I know Portland had a bad off season. They had a really bad off season, in fact. But if they can next season bring in Draymond Green and keep building this supporting cast, they're going to be a pretty decent team.
I think for any team looking to pay that amount of money for Draymond Green, you have to be absolutely sure of the offensive players that you have around him. Like, it's cool enough to say, oh, yeah, you can put him with Damian Lillard, but who's your secondary scorer there? Do you think Anthony Simons is going to step up? Because, to be honest, as good as Jeremy Green is, and as much as I love him as a player, and he's just not good enough to be a second option on a championship caliber team. Third option, yeah. But you'd have to have a lot of trust in Anthony Simons, or you could package him with maybe Shaedon Sharpe and whatever other draft picks you have and try and get a bona fide second offensive star. But
yeah,
you'd have to be real confident.
The idea with this Portland team right now seems to be going to want to go really small ball because, I mean, Jusuf Nurkic, let's face the facts, is going to play half the year and the other half of the year is going to be spent in the hospital. I think we can all agree with that. And then other than that, do you know who their backup center is? Do you want to have a guess who the Portland Trail Blazers backup center is?
Oh, Jesus. CJ Ellaby, even though he's like a shooting guard.
No, that's not it. Have another guess, mate.
Oh, Greg Brown.
No, me! Because I've got no backup center! I'm their backup center! Their backup center is me or Damian Lillard next season, and I'm calling it right now.
5'9" backup center in the NBA.
Yes. Either that or they're calling up Eric Bledsoe, who they waived just to play center, because that boy is dummy thick, and he might be able to play that center position. But the realistic thing is, they could actually do some type of small ball thing, which would be kind of interesting. Like, you could have Dame at the point. Simons at the 2, Sharp at the 3, Grant at the 4, and then at the 5 you'd have, of course, the main man himself, who they would then go on and sign in Draymond Green. But how that would work, obviously you couldn't start it. I think Jeremy Grant would move to the small forward and they'd start Nurkic. But when those games that Nurkic is injured and all that type of stuff, I think it would run fine. And they're theoretically one of the only teams I could see Draymond Green going to. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't see the Miami Heat or any of those teams making sense. I don't see a team like Memphis or New Orleans, any of those young and upcoming teams that could be looking to offer someone a max soon. It doesn't make any sense for him to go there. To me, it's Golden State or I think Portland at this point. And if I was him, I would look at Portland because you could take a pay cut because the situation would be good in Golden State, but there could be a lot going on in Portland right now. I just think they had a pretty rough off season, but there's definitely still building blocks there for them to try and make the play in this season and make a playoff run. And then of course, build heavy, I think, till next season. Am I wrong for saying that or?
No, I can't think of another team that would be in a better position. Just like I said, you'd have to be hoping that Simons turns into that second offensive option, or you'd be making another trade. But if you're taking on Draymond, you have to have a lot of the things that Portland have, like the superstar offensive talent and the shooting, which is what they actually do have. And he would obviously help their defense and playmaking situations. So I can't think of another team that's more well set up, obviously, other than the Warriors. But I can't think of another one.
Does he leave the Warriors? Or do you see this getting done and he gets signed on the max? Because it seems like he made it pretty clear that he won't settle for anything less than a max. He doesn't even want to take a pay cut.
I think Golden State might eventually cave in unless there's no other interest from other teams. But like you said, the fact that Lillard has said that he wants to play with him openly probably means that Portland would get pressured into giving him an overpay, which means that Golden State would have to cave in. So,
yep.
I think it'll get done.
So let's just say this happened because let's be honest here, they're probably not going to be able to get a deal done just from signing him, right? Like he's on way too much money. It's probably just not going to work. What would the trade therefore look like for you? Because if I'm looking at the salary cap right now for Portland, they have Grant on 20 million, Hart on 12 million, Lillard on 40. Nurkic, I think's on like 20 million now, something ridiculous like that. And Simons is on like 20 million now as well. What does a trade look like for this like to actually happen? Because I don't see anything on that roster that immediately jumps out at the Golden State Warriors. Josh Hart would be cool.
Not at all.
He would be awesome. Jeremy Grant would be an awesome one for them as well, but worst case scenario is for this Trailblazers team is that Jeremy Grant leaves in the offseason. That would be the really bad one. And that's how I know Jeremy Grant is getting a max, I reckon. Like, I literally think Jeremy Grant is getting the max. No, just because he's gonna threaten to go.
True. If Portland lost him, that'd be pretty disastrous to trying to keep Damian Lillard.
Yeah. So he's on 20 million right now. They should
have kept him in the first place.
Yeah. So he's on 20 million right now. It was said that his original asking price from Detroit was 25 million because he actually liked it in Detroit. And then it was said as soon as he got to Portland, he was like looking for that max. Which maybe he liked it more in Detroit. I don't know how that works, but shit, he wants the max now. I guess you could always say you'd lose him. He might just walk out, and I guess that has a lot of money open for Portland to probably offer, Draymond Green a max contract or something like that. But that's my theory. Is I think Draymond Green gets to Portland if Golden State can't re-sign him, which I think as you said, they'll eventually cave in. I think we kind of know that. But moving on now, Kevin Durant, situation's getting more heated. See what he said today.
me or Steve Nash and what's their GM's name? Sean Marks.
Fair enough, right? That's pretty fair. Steve Nash's
Yeah,
cheeks. Might as well have Ben Simmons
Steve
running that
Nash.
team.
Bro, if I was the owner, Steve Nash would be gone quicker than you could say fucking pancakes. I would have been firing him anyway, bro.
I love some pancakes, bro. You've set me up, bro. Now I'm
You do.
hungry. I look like a big pancake. I don't know about you, but they're saying that the team that could be getting Kevin Durant is the Boston Celtics. What? Like Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant? Is that something you see happen? It's not only like it's not being reported by some random guy. It's being reported by like the godfather of the NBA, and that's Woj. You know, could you see that happening?
Yeah, I could probably see it happening. If I was the Celtics, I don't know if this is just bias because I'm actually a massive fan of Boston. I love a lot of players on their team, including Jaylen Brown, who's one of my very favorite players in the NBA, like probably top five. Um, I don't know if I would break up what they have right now. Like they've got a young team, they've got an insanely good defense. That I just don't know if they should split it up. I think they should give it a few more years with their core. Like they're going to win 60 games next season with their current team. I don't think they need to do this.
Yeah, like I literally think the Boston Celtics got better this offseason, right? They did, yeah. Like they brought in Malcolm Brogdon. They brought in
Oh, Malcolm Brogdon is so perfect for them.
yeah, they brought in Danilo Gallinari as well. I mean, both of those players are really good. Like the fact of the matter is I think you now move Al Horford to the bench, and dude, that's a scary prospect, man. Like that is a really scary prospect. The team is still really suffocating on defense. Like 6'5" Malcolm Brogdon at the 1, 6'4" Marcus Smart at the 2. 6'8"
That gun
Jaylen
centers.
Brown. Yeah, 6'9" Jason Tatum. 6'10" Jason Tatum, I think he actually is. And then 6'11" Robert Williams. The team is like really tall. It's really mobile. It's very athletic, and they suffocate teams on defense. Like they single-handedly destroyed the Miami Heat's willingness to shoot 3-pointers. Like I saw PJ Tucker brick more shots than me and you do when we play local basketball on a Thursday night or whatever. That dude's cheeks, but that's not the point of this clip, all right?
Don't put me into this. I hit 3 on Thursday night. Thank you very much.
Whoa! Holy shit! I scored for the first time in 4 weeks.
Oh,
that was
shit.
pretty awesome. Yeah, I know.
You're
that
doing
was
better
pretty
than Ben
cool.
Newman.
Oh, mate, that's good to hear because I'm telling you right now, seniors is very hard, especially being in the second highest grade in seniors. Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm playing in the NBA. I swear to God, I play Marcus Smart every night. Like I'll get the ball and some guy will be rubbing his cock on me when he's doing a full press. Like chill out, bro. What's going on there?
Oh, man.
But yeah, that Boston Celtics team it's pretty crazy. It's pretty hectic if I'm being completely honest. But I mean, if you were to lose Jaylen Brown 4 first-round picks and Marcus Smart for Kevin Durant, does that team get better? Because if you ask me, both teams come out of this as a win-win, in my opinion. Like that trade the Nets get back is a really good thing. I don't see the Nets winning a championship in their current situation because there was also a report that said today that Ben Simmons was asked if he would be healthy to play in Game 4 against the Celtics in the playoffs.
And left the group chat.
What the hell, bro? Like, the Nets ain't winning nothing, dude.
What is wrong with him, man? What is wrong with him?
And Martin Luther Irving thinks the earth is flat and I don't know. I mean, I don't. It's just so tough to think anything about that Brooklyn Nets team. So if you were to bring in Jaylen Brown, that's mad. That kid's a freak. Marcus Smart will give every opponent an STD. Once he rubs his chode on you on that full court press, you are done. 4 first-round picks is pretty hectic. Then you look at the Celtics, you got a starting 5 that would be... Is it odd for me to say they could literally do Malcolm Brogdon, Tatum, Durant, Robert Williams, and Horford all in the same starting 5? Could that work?
That'd be crazy.
That would be hectic, bro. You can't tell me that KD and Tatum couldn't guard the two. Come on.
Mm.
That team would be
Yeah,
suffocating. Like, holy shit.
I think it guarantees the Celtics a ring or two, but it's just really it depends on how much you believe in their current core. If you want 10 years of potentially contending and winning multiple championships, or 5 years with more guaranteed success. But I'm a big believer in their current team, so I would probably, unless the asking price isn't as steep as it's reported to be and they can whittle it down and whatever, I'd be staying put if I was Boston,
Yeah.
especially because apparently Jaylen Brown was pissed off at the rumors.
Well, I would say 4 first-round picks, Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart is the cheapest that you could get it up to. And
Yeah,
I don't
look,
even know
I'd be
if,
iffy about that.
yeah, I don't even know if that ever gets anywhere near to getting it done, considering there was a thing that said they asked the Timberwolves for Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and 4 first-round picks.
That's
Like
crazy.
when I compare trades, I still think Karl-Anthony Towns is a better player than Jaylen Brown. Come at me in the comments. I still think that's true.
Pretty even.
All right. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that. And I also think that
Mm.
Anthony Edwards will
I'm
be.
a big Cat fan too.
I also think Anthony Edwards will be a 10 times better player than what Marcus Smart is.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think if they are asking the Timberwolves for that, they're going to want another couple of first round picks out of the Boston Celtics. So I'm not sure. And I don't know.
Do that if I was Boston.
I don't know if I believe in your 10-year plan, by the way. Because we got to remember the Celtics were like 9th at one stage this year, like halfway through the year. They really kicked it off in the third part of the season where they won like 18 games in a row or something ridiculous like that. I don't think it will happen again because I think the team fixed a lot of things. They have much more chemistry with their coach. Malcolm Brogdon is a freak.
And they
Robert
didn't have
Williams.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, and now they've gotten rid of Dennis Schroeder.
Worst player in the NBA.
Yeah, and Danilo Gallinari they've brought in too. So my theory behind this is that you've got at least 5 years of like guaranteed success.
Yeah.
But the Celtics have also had years where they've just been all over the place. I mean, the second year that Kyrie was on the Celtics, that was shambles. The first 3 quarters of this season was basically shambles. There's so many situations like that where the Celtics just find themselves in weird spots. So I wouldn't be surprised if like that kicked off again in the next sometime in the next 5 years or beyond that. So I don't know.
But I'd be hesitant to compare the team now to the team with Kyrie because I'm pretty sure Marcus Smart or Aaron Nesmith isn't going to be going around burning sage around the arena before the game. So
Aaron Nesmith is on the Pacers now, my friend. It isn't Pacers.
It doesn't matter. Point still stands. Nobody cares about the Pacers and they're both racist. He may as well still be in Boston.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't Indiana like #1 in the world for like #1 in America for like cocaine or something? So I was gonna make a cocaine joke. Yeah, Nesmith just gone off he's learned some stuff from Kyrie, but except he's not saging anymore. He has ice in his veins at the Pacers Stadium, bro. Let's go. But yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't think it personally gets done. Relly has come on this podcast multiple times and he literally thinks that Kevin Durant is, quite frankly, possibly going to be sitting out the whole entire year. He thinks that literally KD is not going to get traded. And at the time, he said that KD will just have to suck it up in Brooklyn. I'm adding the part where he sits out in the year because I genuinely believe that could be a scenario because he's literally just come out and has said, it's Steve Nash and old mate or me. And that's a pretty bold thing to say. That's basically my way or the highway. And that sounds to me like someone who would sit out to get their way.
Oh, I don't think Kevin Durant's ever going to sit out. I think he loves basketball too much and he's too competitive of a player to ever sit out a full season. He's not Ben Simmons.
After those comments of basically saying it's my way or the highway, you got to trade me now if you don't fix this shit. You don't think he'd sit out?
He'd still play. And to be honest, my way or the highway has sort of been what him and Kyrie have done. I mean, the front office has done everything according to them.
And what happened when it wasn't Kyrie's way?
And they're taking they're taking the power back. The Nets ownership and front office. They've had enough of the player empowerment.
What happened when it wasn't Kyrie's way though? What did he do?
Oh, Kyrie's a different beast.
He
though.
sat out, bro. That's what I'm saying. He sat out.
Yeah,
This
but you
Brooklyn
can't
Nets
compare
team is full of
Kyrie and
seat
KD
warmers.
personality-wise.
Bro, this team is full of
Completely
seat
different.
warmers. Look at Ben Simmons. My guy sat out. Kyrie
Ben
Irving
Simmons and
sat
Kyrie
out.
Irving on the same team is kind of wild. I kind of hope we see it.
Oh, we have to see it, right? Like,
Yeah.
where is
Oh, it'll
Kyrie
be-
getting traded to? The Beijing
it'll be
Flying Ducks
entertaining.
now or something? Like, where's that man
Bro,
going to get traded to?
They'll both take unexplained leave from the team at the same time, and all of a sudden they have to suit up Jordan Beecroft again.
No
He's playing
shit.
for every team in the
Bro,
league.
they literally did Jamal Crawford at like 42. They went to that bloke's house and said, "Stand the fuck up, bro. We need you." Like,
I don't care if you're on a walking frame, get out there and
Yeah.
do that double
And
behind the back.
And then they got Iman Shumpert, who I swear that guy's on like Deal or No Deal and making rap music now. They pulled him out of doing that. And then they brought in Tyler Johnson for a couple of games and were like, hold on, bro.
Tyler Johnson.
We need you back. And then they
He's in the
deported him
NBL
to
now.
Brisbane, bro. Now he's playing for the Brisbane Bullets in Australia.
Oh,
What is
no.
going on, man? Jesus Christ. All right, me and Justin Bieber are going to move on to some AFL content now. We'll get started off with the report by Cal Toomey, the man, the myth, the legend. Cal Toomey definitely will snatch up your misses at the club type Cal Toomey. He has said that he thinks the Richmond Tigers will now be the favourites to get Tim Taranto, and he thinks we have the best situation for him. Do you think the Tigers will get him? Are we the best fit? Do you think that will happen? Because they were saying not long ago that the Pies would be the team that actually tries and gets him.
It just depends whether we keep DeGoey, whether we would go for him or not. He fits in seamlessly at Richmond. He's like Prestia, except he actually has an ACL and an AC joint and
hamstrings,
an ankle,
all of the above,
calves, everything. Yeah, he'd be perfect for you guys, and for us, to be honest. I mean, if we lose DeGoey, yeah, I guess he'd be helpful, but he's just an off-brand DeGoey, to be honest.
Who, Tim Taranto?
Yeah. Oh,
You're kidding.
He's probably
You're kidding.
He deserves a bit more credit than that.
Yeah, it's an off-brand DeGoey, bro. DeGoey's about to be in the freaking Geelong jailhouse next year.
I'm very high on DeGoey as a footballer at the moment because he was bloody brilliant on Friday night. So
for those who are asking as well, why am I looking down here? I'm not looking at my penis. I don't know what Will's looking at. I don't know. What's your explanation for that? What I was going to say is I'm not looking down to look at my 10-inch Punisher. I'm looking down on my phone because my friend Jack went to the club, right, on my birthday at night, and we were all like, why is this guy not staying the night at mine? Why is he not whatever, right? Like, what's he doing, dude? Like, it's poor form, it's bad behavior. But he went out clubbing, it's whatever he is. And I know this is a bit off topic from Tim Taranto at Richmond, but I thought this guy was a former Richmond player, so I thought it'd be funny. He went to this club, and the whole entire AFL was practically there. And he gets a photo with Marbia Chol. Marbia freaking Chol, bro, at the club. That man played for the Suns and played against Hawthorn in Tasmania, like the day. He's clubbing at night time in St Kilda, bro. What's the chances
He's teleported.
Of that? No shit. Like, how does that even happen? Apparently, the Carlton boys, I think, were there as well. Or something like that. Maybe it wasn't Carlton. Some team, no, because Carlton were playing in Brisbane. Some team was there. I don't know. But anyway, he got a photo with Marbia Chol, and I'm jealous because I didn't get the...
It's a good enough excuse.
Yeah, now I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, fair enough. You missed my birthday, and now you can go have fun with Marbia Chol in the club, dancing to some Pitbull, bro, on a Sunday night or whatever it was. It is pretty crazy. But when we're talking about Taranto to Richmond, because I'm genuinely thinking this could be a very big possible thing now that actually happens. What would the Tigers have to trade up to get Tim Taranto to the team? From what I'm hearing, it's pick 10 and a future third. Discuss.
Dusty.
Dusty.
Look, I don't know. I'd probably base his value at like obviously the 10th pick and probably either another first or second. Probably a second, to be honest.
So you don't
You
think a
could
first and a
probably
third gets it done?
you could probably get away with that if you really forced their hand. If he was like, look, I'm not staying here. It's not an option. I have to go to Richmond and Richmond only. But if there's any sort of leverage for them there, I reckon they'll get a first and a second out of him because he's a quality player.
Mm. He could be legitimately nearly their best player at times throughout the season as well. So that's, yeah, I guess that's kind of trouble. If it was me, I'd say pick 10. I'd say a future third, but also I'm a Richmond fan as well. At the end of the day, so I'm obviously going to lowball the hell out of Greater Western Sydney, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what it is too. But another thing as well, and I thought I'd read this because this was brought up. Now I'm not sure who reported on this. I think it was Fox Footy, to be honest, but there was a whole entire Instagram post dedicated to this by Tiger Ambush, which is like, if you're a Richmond fan, usually come over their
Fan
posts.
page.
They've got a lot of good content, if I'm going to be honest. But they've said Richmond are reportedly interested in luring Collingwood star. Now I'm going to say that because this guy he's a star at touching people up in America. Let's be honest there. But they're apparently interested in luring Collingwood star Jordan De Goey to Punt Road. Geelong and St Kilda are considered to be the front runners for his service, but allegedly the Tigers have thrown their hat in too. And then he says his whole entire stuff, like saying, personally, I wouldn't want anything to do with De Goey. I mean, obviously not, because he's not gay, so you wouldn't want that guy coming and touching you up, would you? But, and he only seems to want to touch up chicks overseas, so it's not like Dusty's old chopstick incident, wherever that was. But who do you think? Yeah, who do you think gets De Goey at the end of the day? Do you think it's a Geelong, St Kilda? Do the Tigers, are they a late team that swoop in, or does he stay at Collingwood? Because this is your player. You love some Jordan Neal. You like touching.
Oh.
We won't get into that.
That's a bit questionable.
No,
I would say I'm the biggest De Goey fan, but I would not be opposed to keeping him around, especially after how he's played the last few weeks, and if he can keep up this form into September. To say we don't need him on field is a bit, like we definitely do. And as long as there was behavioural clauses in his contract and, like a games played quota or a suspension quota or something like that, then I would have no worries bringing him back because he's worth it as a player.
Yeah. Does he get back though?
Apparently he's indicated that he wants to stay, but if we're not willing to give him any sort of long-term security or something, or another team just gives him a irrefusable offer, then yeah, I wouldn't be too shattered with losing him, but he's played really well, and if he continues to do so, we should probably keep him.
Yeah.
Would hate to see him get to Geelong and become the next bloody Stengel, but on crack.
Jesus Christ, bro. Before I get into them, though, I do want to say I'm glad North Melbourne aren't going for him, because I think this is the last thing North Melbourne need at this point is a bloke like that on their team. There are a lot of issues, and I mean, luckily for Richmond, just choking the shit out of the couple games that they did halfway through the year. Lucky for them, because if Richmond didn't do that, North Melbourne would possibly have gone down as one of the worst team in the AFL history. They would have had one win, lowest percentage nearly ever. Now I think they've got like 2 wins, lowest percentage ever. They're still obviously top 10 worst teams to probably ever play the game. Yeah, top 5 easily if we're not counting foundation squads. But I'm glad they're not going after Jordan De Goey. They would give up a lot of money.
One troubled Collingwood forward is enough, especially when he doesn't know where the ball is. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Will Burton is talking about, he's talking about R2D2, obviously. Whatever happened to that bloke? What's his name? Who did they sign? What was his name?
What?
You know the
talking about Jaden Stevenson.
I know you're talking about Jaden Stevenson, but they also traded away another Collingwood player that one time.
Yeah, it was Atu Bozanovalagi.
No! How did I not remember that? No, but seriously though, James
This
Stevenson.
close.
I was that close,
Mm.
man. I said R2D2. Surely that's good enough, bro. I tried to take the spotlight
R2D2's pretty
off
close.
Jaden Stevenson because he's had a rough week. I mean, Buddy Franklin nearly Batista bombed the ball into his back of his head because he wasn't
He
watching.
should have.
I don't know why
It would
Buddy
have been
didn't
more valuable than the goal.
Why did Buddy saw he wasn't looking, so instead of Buddy just going, around the corner, kicking it over his head, he nearly pinned the ball into the back of Stevenson's head. Like, no one's thinking about that Buddy actually kind of messed up the kick himself and nearly pinned the ball into the poor bloke's head. So it happens when you're left footer, mate.
You make a turnover that poor. Not watching the ball afterwards. I have never seen a more boneheaded act on a football field.
That's why I'm glad.
Terrible.
I'm glad North Melbourne are not going for Jordan De Goey now. It is a great move that they've
built a culture.
Yeah, it's honestly great that they've stayed away. I'm saying that St Kilda have a lot of issues to worry about before they sign Jordan De Goey, I think. Because right now...
The only teams where De Goey would go other than Collingwood where he succeeds to the level that he has at Collingwood or above is Geelong and Richmond because they've already got those established cultures, especially bloody Geelong. I'm so sick of them. If they got him, they'd be just about unstoppable.
Yeah. Well, St Kilda, their backline, man. Like, I just can't with their key backman. Like, you've got poor Dougal Howard. Like, he's already been stitched up enough with his
trying to
naming
conquer four world
Dougal. Yeah, and he's having to play number one key back every week when at Port he was like a third or fourth option in some weeks. Same issue with Bulldogs and Alex Keith. Like, Alex Keith for the last 2 years.
Oh, it's worse at the Dogs.
Yeah, their number one key back. And then the other week they dropped him, and I genuinely thought I was getting the call up to play key back for the Dogs. Like, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on.
This man is everywhere. He's going to be on the PGA Tour soon.
They call me Mr. Worldwide. the Mr. 305, bro, checking in real quick. But yeah, I think a part of me thinks that something with De Goey is going to fall through. And I think everyone expects him to get and stay at Collingwood. But if part of me thinks that, like, Geelong are going to have a fair bit of cap soon. Like, when you think about it, who are Geelong now paying? Who are Geelong now paying other than Jeremy Cameron? Tom Stewart would be on some money. Mark Blitzarves would be on some money. But all their other players are 33 years old that are probably on some veteran minimums now or some shit. Like, you wouldn't
Danger's
think...
probably on the pension by now as well.
Yeah. Danger wouldn't be... He'd be ending his big contract very shortly, I would assume. Yeah. Stengel's on peanuts. They're not paying anyone, I don't think. Isaac Smith,
be around forever.
He might be on some cash because they, of course, lured him away. But all of those players they lured away and used cash to do, like Luke Dalhouses and stuff like that, none of them are on any money anymore. Is Luke Dalhouse even playing anymore?
Don't think so.
A part of me thinks that Geelong are somehow going to go into this free agency. They're going to win the flag, bring in Jordan De Goey, Tanner Bruin, Jacob Hopper, and then go, that's fine. Like, I don't know. I think if Geelong don't win the flag this year, I seriously just don't know what to do.
They'll never win one.
Even if they don't win it this year, they're still going to go on a free agency and sign everyone and their dad. Like, I guarantee they're going to sign bulk players.
They just have to win it this year. There's no way. As much as it pains me, because I'm just like everyone else, I'm just sick of them being so good all the time. But I guess if they can finally back it up and not lose in a prelim by 800 points, it's a little bit more bearable than just being a waste of space in the top four every year.
I've got Geelong winning the flag this year.
I think everyone does.
I think this is the year.
There's a biased Collingwood supporter in me, but no, they have to.
I think Geelong get it. The only team that possibly, I think, stops Geelong in a game would be, I think the Demons are a big factor. But also, I feel like the Demons are very stoppable as well. Like, the Demons could run into some issues in finals if a team gets if a team plays their best game, they can beat the D's. It's realistically how it is now. This final series, like the D's were flat out favorites to win it last year at a certain point. Everyone was just saying, though, are they going to choke it like they always do? Turns out they didn't choke it. And I think we're saying the same thing about the Cats this year is, are they going to choke it like they always do? And I don't expect them to.
Hopefully they do. It'd be hilarious.
I don't know. I want them to. I kind of want them to win, other than Richmond, because I think we could also be a chance now. We finally got some players back, but in saying that, Nick Flosson just died recently. Dylan Grimes is out now. Dusty's out. We still have major injury issues like all the time, but it is what it is. I still hope we can do something, but I don't know. Don't be surprised if we choke to the Hawks. But Dyson Heppell, that's another player. 4-year contract today from the Gold Coast Suns, they're saying. The person who went for the Bombers as a kid and is now an Essendon captain, it's 2 years guaranteed as a player with another 2 years as the coach, as an assistant coach. Are you taking that if you're Dyson Heppell?
Well, this pressures Essendon to offer him a coaching role after his playing career. I don't think he would be too opposed to playing 1 year instead of 2 and then going into coaching or whatever. But if Essendon keep the 1 year deal that they've tabled for him at the moment and don't up it at all, then he'd be stupid not to go to the Gold Coast for 4 years of guaranteed money.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure he's only 30. Like, why is he only being offered 1 year deals when he is your captain and you've got no one else? Yeah, but you got no one else to replace him.
Oh,
Where Essendon going to replace us?
Zach Merrett will be their next captain.
How old isn't Zach Merrett like 28? 28
I think
now?
he's younger than that, surely, like 26, 27. Hang on, let me look it up.
This is an interesting thing. I would have said 2014 draft, right? 2013 draft? Oh, Jesus, I came up with
26.
31, but I searched up Zach Martin by an accident. So,
yeah, no, he's 26.
Turning 27 in October. So if they give
1
one more year to Dyson Heppell, guaranteed as captain, Zach Merrett would be captain at 28. Or do they take the captaincy of Dyson Heppell this year and give it to Zach Merrett would be the
I think they'll give it to Merrett next year.
You think it's 100%?
I don't know about 100%, but I think it'd be a wise move for them to make. I don't think, like, Heppell's been a great player and been a great captain and all that, but they just need some sort of change and they need to hurry up in getting to their next flag tilt because it looks like it's a few years away now. So
yeah,
I think they just need to move on.
How does this help Gold Coast if they get it done, by the way? How do the Gold Coast Suns transform like Optimus Prime? How do they do it?
More leadership. I mean, they've got a young team still. They've got an inexperienced team, not a lot of big names in their team. They've got, who have they got? They've got David Swallow. Took Miller's a great leader. Wits as well. But other than that, I feel like they're just missing a little bit more veteran leadership. They bring that. Also, it doesn't hurt that he's a pretty good ball user off halfback.
Yeah.
So.
The Gold Coast Suns are certainly to make the 8 next year. Because right now,
nobody's ever a certainty.
Right now, their team is looking cracked. Like, I'm going to read out some stuff to you, right? So, we're coming towards the end of the season with the Gold Coast Suns. They are 11th place. They have 36 points. They have played 20 games. They've won 9, lost 11, 9-11. Don't sue me, YouTube. 102 percentage, right? But they are doing this without Ben King, who was arguably their best player last year. So their key forward. They are also doing this now where they've brought in Elijah Hollins, who just won the Rising Star. Looks like he is going to be absolutely cracked. And then next year, you're going to have a fully confident Matt Rowell, all of this type of stuff. I don't care if Isaac Rankin leaves. I think he's very valuable and highly important to their team. But I don't care if he leaves because I still think the Gold Coast Suns are going to be good enough to make the 8. But I'm not saying as the Gold Coast Suns, they definitely need to bring back Rankin. But what I'm saying is in terms of them making the 8, this doesn't affect what I'm saying at all. Then the other thing is as well is I'm pretty sure they've got like the most draft picks in AFL history this year. They've got their 4
Yeah.
picks. I think they own 3 from you or something. They own like 3 from Fremantle and like 2 from another team. They've got like 11 picks. If I was them, I'm going hard at a certain free agent. I don't know why they haven't been linked to a big name free agent yet. It still bizarres me that players aren't keen to move to Australia's freaking Miami. I've never understood it. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
So
yeah. If you are the Gold Coast,
then get in that position.
If you're the Gold Coast Suns and you not only bring back Isaac Rankin, I think they're going to extend everyone as well, because I still think Rankin gets re-signed. I don't know why everyone's saying 100% he's going to Adelaide. If I
have
Rankin,
a feeling he'll stay as well.
Yeah. And you bring back Ben King, arguably I think he's a top 10 key forward, obviously. Top 10 key forward in the game. The only other things you probably need there maybe on your team is a halfback, a veteran, and maybe another key defender, maybe. You do 2 of those things with Dyson Heppell, and then you bring in possibly a key defender, maybe through free agency, something like that. I'm not sure. Griffin Logue has been looking for a big offer. It's rumored it's going to come from Victoria, but goddamn, if I was Gold Coast, I know he's not from Victoria, I'd offer him a sneaky $650 to get to the team. He's about, I think, 188 centimeter dude. Not necessarily the key forward you go after, but like someone like him, you know, this dude's out there, surely. So I don't know. I think the Gold Coast Suns possibly make the 8. And does Dyson Heppell help that? Well, I need you to tell me, how much does he help?
They definitely can. I think Heppell would help them a fair bit. Obviously, it's not going to be anything groundbreaking at this stage of his career. He's not a star like he used to be. I think the bigger thing for Gold Coast is keeping Rankin. I feel like if they kept him, that would just be a massive moment for them, because everybody knows how they've struggled to hold on to players and all of this. And even while GWS were contending, there were players flying out the door left and right. So if Gold Coast were able to keep their core players intact for a while, it would mean absolutely everything to that team. And yeah, I think they can make the 8 next year. I don't know if they will, because there's a lot of teams in the 8 right now that I can't imagine falling out of it, and there's a lot of teams out of it that I can imagine squeezing their way in next year. So I won't say it's a certainty, but they definitely have the capability.
They need to figure out what they're doing with Jack Lukosius. It's pissing me off. He is too good to be averaging 13 disposals a game, half a goal a game. He's not a key forward. He's not a third forward. Dude, he was pick 2 or 3 one year. The dude has an incredible ability to get the ball on the half back. And he's a very underrated dude that can intercept the ball. Like, no one ever talks about Lukosius anymore as an interceptor. No one ever does. No one ever says he can intercept the ball. And I don't know why. Like, I've seen him do it many times. I remember we had this argument a couple of years back where you guys were telling me, I don't know if you remember, you guys were like, he's a halfback, all of this type of stuff. And I remember saying, no, I think this dude should be a intercept key defender. And it honestly just felt like the games where he would do that, they didn't deliberately play him like that. He just would come in and intercept because they had no one else. But I wouldn't understand why you wouldn't give it a go. I feel like he's got the knack to do it. And in my opinion, he's a backman. I don't like him up forward. Stop it. Get some help. Like, I don't know. It's a weird one.
Well, if you've got such a versatile player, you may as well throw the magnets around.
But he's not doing any good up forward.
See where he suits best. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, move him back, move him to a wing, move him all over the place and see where he can gain some form. Because you're right, he's too talented to be giving the level of production that he's giving right now.
Imagine if he pops off next year. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Gold Coast
they're
team would be they would be cracked. But yeah, I don't know if there's any much more we can talk about today. We've kind of gone through it all. This has probably been Will Burton's longest podcast. He has a 9-hour McDonald's shift tomorrow, so we've got to cut this one. Is that what we're saying?
Oh no, not quite, but I do have uni tomorrow. But
Oh,
I just need a quick mention about the flag pies because we are
oh.
coming for the premiership.
We're gonna say I need a quick wank before I go to bed or something like something like that. But
Yeah,
as I was
the
saying,
classic centre half bench one.
as I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Go subscribe to my Clips channel. Go give Will Burton a text on Instagram and tell him how cute he looks today or tonight, whenever
If
this
you can see
comes
me
out.
head.
Yeah, there you go. All right, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. Go Tigers, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.